I'm Steph Cordes, and I'm Vice Chair at the Cordes Foundation. The Cordes Foundation is my family's foundation, which started 10 years ago when my dad sold his financial services company. And I started around 3.5 years ago, transitioning out of my career at Condé Nast before. I decided to make the transition after attending a convening in Mexico that we co-host called the Opportunity Collaboration, which really inspired me by meeting all the different entrepreneurs and hearing how they're starting businesses around causes that they cared about. And it made me question what my impact was in my day-to-day job. So I approached my parents and asked them how I could start getting involved, and I became vice chair full-time. That's kind of hard to say. We're on the road about 75% of the time. We just got back from a month in Africa where we spent every day visiting different organizations, both on the nonprofit and for-profit side. So we are really close with our partners. So we like to go and visit them on the ground. So about 75% of the time we're traveling, and then also at conferences doing a fair amount of speaking on impact investing and foundations, and then back in New York, mostly having meetings with new potential grantee or investee partners. We're focused on women's and girls' economic opportunities, so being able to provide them with opportunities to lift themselves and their families out of poverty, and we have a strategic focus on ethical fashion and artisans. I would say there's so many amazing organizations and causes that it's been really difficult to narrow our focus area, but we felt like we can make a greater impact when we develop expertise more narrowly. So I would say that a big challenge was how do we figure out what we're going to focus on, incorporating all three of our passions. My dad's, which is social entrepreneurship, my mom's in women's and girls empowerment, and then mine, which was fashion. And so I think really thinking about what the three of us cared about was how it made the challenge easier to figure out where we were going to focus. I'm really passionate about it is ethical fashion and how looking at the negative side on how it's the second most polluting industry after oil, but then thinking about the positive side on how it's $3 trillion industry and 1 in 6 people work in it. So it's a huge opportunity to really lift people out of poverty, being that 98% of the workers don't get paid a living wage. And since fashion was something I already cared about, I see that there's a big opportunity both in the investment and grant side to make a big impact with a return. I think that our generation is naturally starting to be more interested in getting involved with causes that they care about. And so, what I think is most important is I think also realizing that it's not only about the financial capital, that there's the human, the social, and all different forms of capital that you can put towards a cause that you care about and how to make an impact. And I think that when you do it towards a cause that you care about, it makes an even greater impact. The best piece of advice I've ever received is from my dad when he says, ready, fire, aim, because he always says that people spend so much time trying to figure out, what they're going to aim at, how they're going to aim, what's the best position to aim at, that most people end up not firing in the end. So kind of just firing and then course correcting as you figure things out along the way.